Chapter 20. Mu Jinyu regained his composure and held Su Zihan's hand in front of his fiancée. At the same time, Su Zihan touched her face with her free hand, drawing attention to it. Su Anan quickly understood. Before her arrival, Su Zihan must have complained to Mu Jinyu about the slap she had received. Now Su Zihan was subtly reminding him of it, making herself look pitiful. As expected, Mu Jinyu turned to Su Anan with a cold gaze. Su Anan pursed her lips and smiled, pretending not to notice his hostility. She blinked innocently and gave a playful, coquettish look, which only infuriated Su Zihan further. "Brother Jinyu, why are you staring at me like that?" Su Anan asked sweetly, her tone laced with mock innocence. Her gentleness was no less effective than Su Zihan's manipulative charm. Su Zihan's eyes turned red with anger. If Mu Jinyu weren't there, she would have lunged at Su Anan and clawed at her face. "Let's go in," Mu Jinyu said curtly, breaking the tense moment. In the private dining room, Su Anan couldn't help but feel amused by the spectacle. Despite the importance of the occasion, Su Hua had chosen not to attend. Whether it was out of embarrassment or overconfidence in Su Zihan's ability to handle the situation, she couldn't tell. As soon as Su Anan entered, Lady Mu, who had been chatting with Jiang Mei, stood up and walked toward her. "Anan, it's been a long time. You've grown even more beautiful," Lady Mu said warmly, her voice filled with feigned affection. If Su Anan didn't know better, she might have believed Lady Mu's concern was genuine. Once upon a time, she had liked this woman who had always been kind to her. "Auntie, you're as young and beautiful as ever," Su Anan replied politely. Lady Mu guided her to a seat directly opposite Su Zihan. Everyone in the room knew the purpose of this dinner. Lady Mu didn't waste time beating around the bush. "Anan, the reason Auntie invited you to dinner today is that there's something important I need to discuss with you." Before Lady Mu could continue, Su Anan interrupted her with a smile. "Auntie, there's no need to say much. My wedding to Brother Jinyu has always been my dream," Su Anan said, her tone sweet, but her words calculated. "You've often told me how much you wanted a daughter like me. I never thought I'd become your daughter-in-law so soon." Her statement caught Lady Mu off guard. She glanced at Jiang Mei for guidance. Jiang Mei nodded subtly, signaling that Su Anan was likely aware of the situation regarding the engagement and the jade pendant. "Anan," Lady Mu said with a sigh, "the Mu family has let you down. And I have let you down." Her voice was heavy with guilt. Su Anan picked up her teacup and lowered her gaze. Her heart felt a pang of discomfort. Lady Mu had always treated her well since the engagement was arranged, but now it was clear she had joined forces with Jiang Mei to deceive her. When Su Anan raised her head, her smile returned, masking her emotions. "Auntie, what are you saying? Being able to marry Brother Jinyu has always been my dream. I don't mind if the wedding is simpler." She continued to play the role of the naive and devoted fiancée, even as the atmosphere grew increasingly uncomfortable. Everyone at the table seemed uneasy, especially Su Zihan. If Jiang Mei hadn't pressed her hand down firmly, Su Zihan would have leaped up to slap Su Anan in a fit of rage. Finally, Mu Jinyu broke the silence. "Anan," he said hesitantly, "let's end the engagement." His words hung in the air, heavy and final. But as he looked at Su Anan, his gaze lingered. The red dress she wore tonight was simply too dazzling. Su Anan chuckled softly, her voice laced with mock sadness. "Brother Jinyu, why must we end the engagement? Don't you like me?" Her words were playful, but there was a sharp edge to them. "You promised to take me on a trip to explore the world together," she continued, her tone light yet poignant. Turning to Lady Mu, she added, "And Auntie, you said that when I married into the Mu family, you'd cook delicious meals for me every day and spoil me until I became plump and happy." Her voice grew softer, but the sourness in her heart was evident.